this is a bit unusual that I don't typically talk about the business or the politics of psychedelics all that much. But something's just been like a needle in my side, and I wanted to chat about it. So recently it came to light, at least for me, that GH Research, one of the very well-funded pharmaceutical companies trying to patent and bring 5-MeO-DMT to market, made it very clear that they don't intend to offer any psychological or psychotherapeutic support for their patients. That the drug that they're bringing to market, in their eyes, in their words, doesn't require any preparation or integration. In fact, just to read their words very clearly, consistent with previously completed trials, GH001, 5-MeO-DMT, is administered on a single initial dosing day without additional mandated visits for psychotherapy or psychological support before and after dosing. So I will tell you right now that the only people that this idea benefits are the people financing this company. This is totally insane. And I think that would be generally an insane statement to make about most psychedelics, that it requires no psychological support or preparation or therapy before or after dosing. But to say it about 5-MeO-DMT is a particularly bold and insane statement, in my humble opinion, having worked with this medicine for 7 years. What they're essentially saying, in my mind, when they're saying it in press release kind of corporate speak, is that they are taking the Tulum teepee model. And by the Tulum teepee model, I mean, if anybody saw the Vice documentary, there's a guy in a teepee, and for $100 or $200 or whatever he charges, you just show up, you smoke 5-MeO-DMT, and you go on your way. And after all their work, that's where they've landed. And it just tells me that they either are completely ignorant to 5-MeO-DMT, like they really just don't understand it, which is hard to believe, but I wouldn't be shocked if at least a third of their executives have never tried the drug, and maybe more. And that probably goes for their board as well. So maybe they're just ignorant. That's possible. But more likely is they're greedy. And they're also, to their benefit, being forced into this position by the current medical and corporate system for psychiatric drugs. And the reason I say that is that when MAPS and Lykos went through the FDA process and worked with the FDA to design their trial and worked on it for decades, they still got just hung out to dry by the committee. And one of the main things the committee said was that, well, they didn't say this directly, but basically what they were saying is, we don't understand therapy, we don't respect therapy, we don't get it, and we're not into it. They called Lykos a therapy cult and said a whole bunch of other wild stuff. Honestly, I would look up Lauren Taus's video on this. She did a great breakdown. But they essentially said, we don't get it and we're not dealing with it, and punted them back to the trial phase. And it's going to force all the drug companies to strip away any sense that there is a psychotherapeutic aspect to psychedelics, which unfortunately is going to just cause a lot of harm and or just waste a lot of money and waste a lot of people's time, because psychedelics are this beautiful mechanism, but that mechanism is activated by human connection and by support and by taking people through a process that helps contextualize and integrate the insights that you gain from these medicines. It doesn't work without those. And if it does, it works for a small percentage of people who have their own deep background in psychological and spiritual exploration, right? And there's nuance to everything, so I'm not going to over-explain it all. But anyway, I just wanted to share this. Just, as we continue to root for the broader adoption and enhanced safety and harm reduction for psychedelics and all of those things, as we watch this cultural wave come with psychedelics, I think it's time to finally admit that the corporate and the medical models and systems are not ready for this medicine on a mainstream basis. They're not. And, despite the conversation around access, which I think is a really important one, but everybody keeps saying, yes, but what about the people who will only be able to access these drugs through insurance and all that sort of thing? Well, I think we need to find a more revolutionary approach to getting these medicines to people. And I think we need to stop pretending that our systems and institutions are ready to integrate this radically different paradigm around healing. That's just my opinion. I'm going to leave it there. Blessings to you, wherever you are, whenever you are. And thanks for listening.